Have you ever thought that the secrets of the atom aren't just stuck in some physics lab? What if they're actually hidden in plain sight, inside ancient stories? Well, today we're diving into a really mind-bending analogy, one that connects the very building blocks of our universe with the cosmology of Hindu philosophy.
So let's just kick things off with a huge question. What if myth and physics are just two different languages trying to tell the exact same story? I mean, seriously, what if those ancient tales about gods and incredible cosmic forces were actually a kind of symbolic map to the weird and wonderful world of quantum mechanics?
Yeah, that's exactly the journey we're taking you on today. We're going to go from these ancient symbols all the way to the very heart of reality itself, the atom. We're on the hunt for a hidden connection. Look, it's a pretty wild idea, I'll give you that, but let's just see where it leads.
Okay, so before we can crack this cosmic code, we first have to get our heads around how ancient systems used symbols to map out a journey, a path of progress. And a perfect, and I mean perfect, example of this is how they used color.
Think about it like this. There are two different paths to mastery, right? In the ancient Gurukul system, your journey starts with a black garment. That symbolizes ignorance. And you progress toward a white one, which means enlightenment. But then you look at martial arts, and it's the total opposite. You start with a white belt, pure, empty potential, and you work your way up to a black belt, which symbolizes a vessel that's been completely filled with knowledge and skill. And this isn't just ancient history, right? We see this playing out today in traditions like the Sabarimala pilgrimage. A beginner starts in black, which signifies renunciation. As they mature over the years, they might move to saffron, and the final enlightened state? That's embodied by the head priest, who wears pure white. So the big takeaway here is this. Symbols can map a journey. Now hold on to that idea, because we're about to take it and shrink it down, way, way down.
All right, let's pivot. We're moving from these big spiritual journeys to the very heart of matter itself, the atomic nucleus. Let's see if this whole symbolic mapping thing holds up.
So right at the center of the atom, what do we find? The proton. It's stable, it's got a positive charge, and it's what defines an element's entire identity. It basically provides all the structure and order. So in our analogy, who does that sound like? It's got to be Vishnu, the great preserver of cosmic order.
And then, right next to the proton, you have the neutron. This one's neutral, no charge, but its presence can actually change an element into a different version of itself, what scientists call an isotope. So it represents change, transformation, all that potential. And in this cosmic drama, that role is played by none other than Shiva, the transformer. Okay, and this is where it gets really cool. You combine the proton, our Vishnu, and the neutron, our Shiva, and what do you get? You get the nucleus. And this is symbolized by Harihara, a deity who is literally a fusion of both Vishnu and Shiva. But wait, what holds them together? Physics has a name for it, the strong nuclear force. But this analogy, it calls that force Ayyappan, who is born from both gods and acts as the ultimate unifying power.
So there you have it, our stable, divine core. But an atom isn't just its nucleus, is it? We've got to look at the dynamic, buzzing energy that's orbiting all around it.
And that dynamic energy, that's the electron. It's this little particle, pure negative kinetic energy, and it's always moving. In our model, this is a perfect match for Shakti, the primordial cosmic energy. And check this out. Just like Shakti is eternally bound to Shiva, the electron is bound by the force of electromagnetism to the nucleus. It's a beautiful parallel.
Now, a single electron is one thing, but what do you think happens when you get a massive, powerful, directed flow of all this energy?
Well, that massive flow of electrons, of countless Shaktis all moving together, that's what we call electricity. It's this powerful, visible, manifested force. And this maps perfectly onto Parashakti, the supreme, all-encompassing form of that divine energy. And we're not done yet. We have to complete the circuit. When you have flowing electricity, it generates a magnetic field, and that field actually guides the path of the current. So who, in the stories, guides energy and removes obstacles? Well, in our cosmic model, that job belongs to Vinayaka, born to protect his mother, Parashakti. It all fits together. Okay, so we've built our divine atom. It seems to hold up pretty well. But you know modern physics. It never stops. Scientists have peered even deeper, inside the protons and neutrons themselves. So the real question is, does the analogy still hold up when we dive into the truly bizarre world of quantum mechanics? Let's find out. All right, you might want to sit down for this one. Physicists discovered that protons and neutrons are actually made of even smaller particles. They're called quarks. And get this, how many types or flavors of quarks did they find? 6. Exactly 6. Now, in what has to be a stunning parallel, the stories say that the deity Murugan was created from, you guessed it, 6 divine sparks from Shiva's third eye. The number is the same. Wild, right?
Oh, and it gets even weirder. At this incredibly tiny scale, reality itself becomes dual. Everything, and I mean everything, is both a solid, definite particle and a spread-out, probable wave at the exact same time. How do you even wrap your head around that? Well, this model has a really elegant answer. It looks to Lord Murugan's 2 consorts. You have Devasena, the structured princess. She's the particle. And then you have Vali, the intuitive tribal girl. She's the wave. So you see, the quantum realm isn't really a place you can visit. It's more like the fundamental and totally paradoxical rulebook for all of reality. And this, right here, might be the deepest connection of all. Because in Hindu philosophy, what do you call that ultimate, formless reality that underlies absolutely everything? You call it Brahman.
So we've looked at the core, we've seen the orbiting energy, we've even peeked at the quantum rules. Now it's time for the grand synthesis. Let's put this whole divine atom together.
And the perfect symbol for this whole picture is Arthanareeswara. That's the form that is half Shiva and half Shakti. It represents a complete, stable, and perfectly neutral atom. Think about it. The positive charge of the nucleus, that's the Shiva side, is perfectly balanced by the negative charge of all those orbiting electrons, the Shakti side. They aren't 2 separate things. They're inseparable, balanced, and totally whole. So, okay. After all of this, going from color codes to quantum physics, you might be asking, what's the big deal? Why does any of this matter? Well, it matters because this entire cosmic drama, it isn't just happening out there somewhere in a physics lab or in a distant galaxy.
Here it is. This is the most profound part. This divine atom, this incredible dance of preservation, transformation, and energy, it's happening right now. Trillions upon trillions of times every single second inside every single atom of your being. The universe isn't just something you look at. You are a living, breathing expression of it.
It's a truly breathtaking thought, isn't it? That our oldest stories might actually be these incredibly complex, multi-layered maps of reality itself. And that leaves us with a question to really think about. What other amazing connections do you see between ancient wisdom and modern science? Thanks for joining us on this journey.